Oxford, where David Cameron and Boris Johnson, after both graduating from posh private school Eton, were in the same supper club and attended the same time as Michael Gove. Nearly a quarter of Parliament members either went to Oxford or Cambridge. And a survey last year broke down those numbers on that Oxbridge bubble, as you can see there. And it's akin, Alexis Poulain, the presidential election taking place in France next year. There's a lot of resentment of the elites, and the idea that it's us versus them, that was something that featured prominently in her speech. In France, those that go to the elite schools, it's worse even than it is in Britain.
Yeah, because there are less people, and the schools are even they're schooled to actually work for the state. It's not only people going in Oxford actually can have a private sector career. Most of people in France actually go to ENA to have a career in politics, or at least at the service of the French state, because it's a machinery. But this anti-elite speech that we see from many years from extreme right or populist parties is coming to mainstream parties. It's just the only way that politicians find to remain in power somehow. And you see Cameron joking about how fast they actually find a replacement and how fast it's going to happen, because they just want to remain in power. But if you look at the state of Britain now, it's all thanks to the Tories' policies and maybe to Blair going to war in Iraq. How much did it cost? And we have the Chilcot report and we need to talk about it. But politicians have a big problem, is that people don't trust them anymore. So it's fine to say, we have the Polish people coming and they want to eat our bread, or we have the poor people coming and they want to take your house. But the problem is not that. I think the problem is that they have not been doing the job for the past 30 years.
Patrick Minford, this gap between the haves and have-nots, Theresa May seemed to really be thinking about it when she spoke. Is she going to be able to bridge that divide?
Well, that's a very good question, because, as you know, about a third of Labour voters voted for Brexit against Labour Party advice. And there's a kind of seismic shift in British politics of, as you rightly say, them and us. I mean, the vast vote leave majorities were among poorer voters from, C, D and E income groups. And this is a very important fact in the whole situation. So it's perfectly okay for Adrian to say that, Mrs. May must satisfy the kind of the Remainers and the elite opinion. But the big problem is that if she betrays the people who voted for Brexit on the grounds that I've explained earlier, and I think have to be accepted to interpret the vote, then if she betrays them, then the tectonic plates in British politics could lead to splits in the Tory party, and a complete realignment, which is, I think, taking us into very unknown territory. So this is what Theresa May is up against. She has to really kind of satisfy the people who voted for Brexit on the grounds that we've talked about, and avoid that split in the Tory party. Of course, in the case of the repeal of the Corn Laws, the Tory party actually did split, which is an important part of their history.